Thank you for coming to the City of Darlington City Council regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, August the 12th, 2025 at 6 o'clock in City Hall. Invite you to bow your heads for a word of prayer with us tonight. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us, Lord, all the rain and many days that we've had to work together, Lord. We ask that you work with us as we work together, Lord, to better the City of Darlington, and everything that we do will honor and glorify your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. If you'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And start wearing a flag shirt.
Do we have a motion to approve the public hearing and special council meeting June the 26th, 2025?
Before we begin, Mayor, I'd like to amend the agenda. Under our presentations, need to add a presentation from our intern, Ms. Anya Cooper, as well as financial discussion.
You want to put it where now?
So under
The financial discussion, we as a council agreed upon it.
the second boards and under the citizens wishing to appear, we have a presentation from Geraldine Coopers as well as from Anya Cooper, the intern, presenting a pilot for some information bias. So I would like to amend to add that underneath citizens wishing to appear.
So you want to add one item being Anya Cooper for the presentation?
That's right.
Okay,
And
and
I'll
that's it?
introduce the shoot, okay. And then
We have to vote them separately.
okay.
What's the other?
So we're adding them separately underneath citizens wishing to appear before council.
I'm assuming that's a motion, so I'll second it.
Mr. Miller?
Anya Cooper.
And what was the second one?
And then the second one is
Ms. Reed?
just,
Mr. Seegers? Motion carries.
and then the second one is just for the record. So we'll have our financial reports proposal, just,
So there's,
and that we can add underneath unfinished business.
so I brought up asking for the financial reports months ago. All of council was in agreement. Historically, when that happens, the administration just moves forward. Do we really have to vote on it and have it as an agenda item tonight?
Well, we, at that time, though, we did not talk about, I mentioned it previously about us adding information to our website, as well as us getting reports.
So we discussed all that, and we all were in favor of everything, so if the
We never
administration,
did, well,
they're
it sort of
supposed to-
went, we didn't really say, we didn't vote on it.
We don't have to
There was nothing
vote on
really
it.
said about it.
yes, ma'am, council meetings are
So I
first.
still think it need to be discussed just for public knowledge.
Yes,
If we wanna waste time doing that, then so be it. I just,
So we wasting time talking to the public.
the council, is here for business. Stuff like that, we shouldn't have to go through a formal vote on, but if y'all wanna do it just so that the public can know, that's a separate thing, I guess.
I think it would be in the best interest for us to go to do that, just to have an open discussion so everyone will know exactly what's going on.
Is the administration saying they won't do it?
Do we?
Let's have, that would be for the discussion though.
Okay.
Would we like to just?
So I make a motion that we add underneath unfinished business, a motion for about financial reports.
I second that motion.
Mr. Miller? Ms. Reed? Mr. Gardner? Mr. Seegers?
No.
Motion carries. All right, do I have a motion for public hearing And special, council meeting, June 26, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll motion to approve public hearing, special council meeting minutes from June 26, 2025.
Second. Mr. Millie? Mr. McGregor? Ms. Baccus?
Didn't I second the motion?
Seegers.
Seegers, Baccus, second.
I second it.
No.
I second the motion. Whatever, okay, fine, whatever. You second,
So, Ms. Reed?
where's the funds going?
Okay, motion is carried, thank you. Do I have approval for regular city council meeting July 1st, 2025?
I'll motion to approve the regular city council meetings from July 1st, 2025, council meeting minutes.
And, second.
Mr. Millie?
I apologize, council. I have a family member that it was an emergency situation there. I just had to respond.
Ms. McCray? Ms. Baccus? Mr. Seegers? Motion is carried, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the special meeting city council workshop July the 29th, 2025?
I'll motion to approve the special meeting / city council workshop from July 29th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
Mr. Millie? Ms. McCray? Ms. Baccus? Mr. Seegers? Motion is carried, thank you. All right, we have a presentation of a stormwater PowerPoint presentation. This is Geraldine Cypress, Water Resource Agent.
I'm sorry. I didn't think you bring it up. You should be.
Bear with us a moment. Technical difficulties. Can we have the lights back on, please?
Mayor, if you would move to the next, Ms. Cooper's presentation, and I will go download hers onto a jump drive. We've had some difficulties again with, being
We
able
got
to do.
citizens speaking first, we gotta do that.
Speaking first.
Okay, citizens wishing to speak, 5 minutes, just from here out, please make sure that your phone number is on here so that afterwards the city manager can contact you if there's anything to be spoken to you about, any issues that you have. Also, please fill out the subject for discussion. I will call them tonight, but next time, if it's not completely filled out, I won't call them. All right, just for public information. All right, Gloria Hines.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Get some concerns. Back here some time ago, I don't think anybody was on council with the DeQuincy Davis offered to do the historic street signs for the city. He started doing them, but he never finished. In fact, he's deceased now. So I would like for us to consider with our signs. I reported one of the older signs, newer signs in front of my beauty salon when Mr. Payne was here. Never got repaired, the sign is still down. And now riding over the city, our historic signs look so bad. We're the pearl of PD. I would like us to consider trying to do those signs over and see what we can do about it and make our city look better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ernestine Lyde.
Good afternoon, City Council.
Good afternoon.
The governor just touched on one of the things I was talking about for the signs, but I'm talking about the signs totally on my side of town, which is the west side, which is also over by Pine School and stuff. The signs over there, you cannot read the streets, street signs. That's what I complain about. And also, and on Main Street, with that flood, with the water and all the flood that they had with that water, the puddles were so that you couldn't even drive through it. The people that did drive through, the cars and stuff stalled out with that rain. And it was like different streets, Jessamine, Main Street right here by the church. There's I think that's Main Street right there by Hardy's. Right in there was a puddle. When you came on Broad Street and you turned, you passed up, the puddle was so deep. And on Lee Street, those are ones that actually had really, really poor downfalls. The water, you couldn't even go through it, and once they did, the cars stalled out.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sean Lowe.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I would just like to concur with what Ernestine said, and I advise council when, as soon as we arrive at the other building over there, not the building, but the other room, whenever y'all was first planning to build the splash pad, that maybe instead of building the splash pad at that moment, we should have put the money towards our storm drains and our water and sewer. But I told y'all that this would happen because our infrastructure is not good, and y'all decided to do that, and so now this is the repercussion, and I'm glad that, I hope the presentation that she's presenting is to help us with our water and sewer, but if council would consider my advice, we wouldn't have to do this.
All right. Mr. Blakeney.
Good evening, Mayor. Council, good evening. I have concerns just want to say, first of all, thank you, Mr. Boyd, for responding to the situation that we had going on all the way on Court Street. And also, Ms. Hoffman, I'd like to say thank you also for responding. Same situation, I've been coming, talking about this infrastructure, the stuff that's on the properties need to be taken care of. And I'm hoping that y'all will turn around and come out, if not having been down these streets, take a look and see the situation that's going on and see what we can be done about it. That's one of my concerns, okay? Thank you so much, Mr. Council.
Thank you, Mr. Clayton. All right, Councilman Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
Good evening. I don't think I need a whole lot of introduction. My name is Joyce Thomas. I serve on the Darlington County Council, which encompasses part of the city. And I would like you all to know, and also the spectators of folks out, that I serve on the Darlington, actually 6 County Community Development Board, is Council of Governments, PD area. In this position, I'm able to vote on the grants that we have coming through. I've been really good with giving us the money, and I want to continue doing that. But we need to kind of do a little better in spending the money appropriately for the public. Get lots of calls. I get calls all the time in reference to that. But what we have now, $8.5 million grant for this area, South Darlington, we're going to use that money to the max. And what I'm asking you all to just work together with the county so we can get this taken care of. And everything that I've heard so far, you know, we have money for that. And of course, I know you all know because the county signed off on it lots of times for the city. But I want us to be a more cohesive group and work so we can get some things done around here in Darlington City and county.
So you have some money for our signs?
Well, you know, different grants for different things. And I'm sure we can incorporate all that in. And that's what I'm saying. Once we can work together closely, you know, just meet, we'll find out what we can get. And I can tell you again that anything we can get, I'm going to be part of it. We can get some things going on. And thank you.
Grant is for the stormwater?
Stormwater that, and well, we haven't met with the engineers yet, but it's usually fall of the year when they come down and tell us what's going to happen. All right, that would be sidewalks, all that type of stuff. So we're gonna work together.
Is it citywide or is it?
It would be in District 3 that I represent, and that's of course that's it. Excuse me for turning my back to you, but I need to talk and let everybody know that this money is coming. We're gonna work together on this so we can get some things done. Thank you.
Let's see. You ready?
Ms. Cuppers? If you bring your, this is a PDF, you said a PDF.
Hi guys, sorry about that. Late. So, thank you for having me in the council. My name is Geraldine Pipers. I work for Huntington Extension as a water resources agent. I cover Florence and Darlington counties. Okay, so what exactly is stormwater? Well, stormwater is anytime it rains or snows, anything that falls onto a hard surface and goes into the stormwater system is considered stormwater. So in an undeveloped environment, you usually don't have these hard surfaces, so water can actually filter into the ground, and pollutants that stormwater carries, are taken up by plants, or they don't exactly go into groundwater right away. Okay. And one common misconception about stormwater is that it goes to a wastewater treatment plant. It, in fact, does not get treated, nothing gets filtered out, so any cigarette butts or oil from car leaks on the road whenever that rains, it goes into the storm sewer system or storm water system and into our waterways. Here is it's a dry part of my position, but so under the stormwater permit, it's called the NPDES permit, which stands for National Pollution Discharge Elimination System, enacted by the EPA. The states are authorized to basically regulate different states and entities' stormwater operations. That includes enforcement. So we have DES that does that, and they have delegated to municipalities that power basically to do this enforcement and this education. So in our state, we have what we call MS4s, which stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System. This means that the sewer system and the stormwater system should never cross or be combined. This is something you see more like towards the Midwest or the North in older municipalities. So yeah, in my position, I cover the first two entities of this stormwater permit that these municipalities have, which are public education and public participation. And fun fact, I used to be in charge of number 3, which is illicit discharge detection and elimination, back when I worked for the city of Florence. Okay, so, I said I'm a water resources agent, but I guess it's a little more specific. I'm also a Carolina Clear agent. So what that entails is me, helping municipalities fulfill the first two portions of that stormwater permit, which are public education and public involvement. And because we are under this one stormwater permit, it is that municipality's responsibility to, make sure that the waters being released to the waters of the US are of good quality or acceptable quality. So the Carolina Clear program, with that program we have agents all over the state that help educate the public through like litter cleanups, and we come up with signs that also educate the public on, for example in this slide, properly disposing of pet waste and helping prevent bacteria pollution. That top picture is actually, what was it? Oh yeah, Darlington Middle School at the bioretention cell, or the rain garden we have out there. So that is an example of one of the programs we have at the middle school with green water infrastructure and educating the kids on that. Yeah. Okay, like I said, there are Carolina Clear agents that help municipalities fulfill those participation, education requirements. So the one that I run is called Florence-Darlington Stormwater Consortium. In this consortium, we have City of Florence, Florence County, Darlington County, and then the town of Timmonsville and town of Quimby. So these are considered MS4s. We meet on a quarterly basis, and every 5 years we go through a strategic plan where the municipalities basically vote on the top 3 pollutants of concern. So this past cycle, they voted on sediment, bacteria, and fog, which stands for fats, oils, and greases. And this is its own entity because it's such a big issue and contributor to the bacteria pollution. We also have statewide mass media campaigns. So the one we had last year is the Septic Safe program. I don't know if you guys have seen these billboards around. We put a few of them in Florence and Darlington counties, basically encouraging people to have their septic tank inspected every 1 to 2 years. A lot of people don't even know where they are, and don't know that they have to be maintained. So, but a faulty septic tank can lead to bacteria pollution in our waterways. Anyway, continue. So like I said, we do programs and also workshops, but every consortium has their different municipalities, and each municipality wants to get different information out to their, to the community and meet the community's needs, basically. So being part of the consortium means that you get to tailor that information specifically for the community. So the bottom picture is one, let's see, to the left is from a, stormwater mural project that we put in Timrod Park back in June. Then we have, also at Darlington Middle School going through the water cycle with some of the 6th grade group. And then at the Darlington Library doing a water quality activity with the kids. And then the bottom one is a talk on rain chains for a statewide program that we have. Okay, so I briefly want to mention the top pollutants of concern that we have in the PD area, but there is one that I specifically do want to focus on. Okay, so sediment is, it is considered a pollutant. Basically, what happens is nutrients tied to the sediment, and then that is carried downstream and can cause a host of issues like low oxygen levels, and also getting into fish gills, and affecting the trophic or the food web, basically. So it does affect aquatic life. And then you have nutrients. Again, nutrients are a big concern here. We have been seeing more harmful algal blooms this year, especially in the upstate. I don't know if you guys have heard of like Lake Hartwell, that they recently had a big algal bloom. This is due to rising temperatures, but also a lot of nutrients. So this comes from pet waste, also fertilizer. If people are, not testing their soil, over fertilizing their lawn, next time it rains, it's washed down, the storm drain and then goes into the waterways. Anyway, so this can cause, like impediments to recreation, but also it can also lead to like fish kills due to the low dissolved oxygen levels. And then we have debris. So litter, well, first off, it's unsightly. It can harm aquatic life. Also, it can be responsible for clogging like stormwater systems and, backing up the stormwater system due to like flooding. I know recently in the city of Florence, they cleaned out some storm water pipes, and they got an awful lot of trash and also vegetation out of the stormwater pipes. So that actually does help with the flooding issue. People just are not aware of the function of storm drains, I think. But yes, okay, so the one I do want to focus on is bacteria. So we have the sources of bacteria being failing septic tanks, pet waste, and then sanitary sewer overflows. Okay, earlier I mentioned that in South Carolina we have MS4s. Again, that's municipal separate storm sewer systems. This means that you never have the stormwater and the sewer water combined. So in that top picture is more of what people think that we have in the state. So, it's easy to throw a cigarette butt out the window if you think that the stormwater is going to be filtered anyway, right? So wrong. This actually ends up with fish that, you're trying to catch. So what we have here is the bottom illustration. The wastewater from the house goes to a separate pipe, which leads to the wastewater treatment facility. And then what goes down a storm drain goes to a pipe that usually leads to a ditch, which goes to a waterway or a stormwater pond, but eventually again into a waterway. Okay, and a big part of my position lately, especially because of the needs of our community, is educating the public on basic plumbing. So who here puts grease down the drain? What about down the garbage disposal?
Bed sheets.
Sorry?
Bed sheets.
In the bed sheets?
No. Bed sheets.
Bed sheet in the toilet.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't have it.
You can't, they do.
They do? So when I used to work at the city of Florence, every once in a while I'll help out at the switchboard. And, we get calls about sewer backups at a house. I tell them, yeah, we're gonna send someone out there, but just to let you know, please don't put grease down the drain, don't flush flushable wipes. And they're like, no, I don't put it down the drain, I put it down the toilet, or I put it down the garbage disposal. So, a lot of these things people take for granted. So my goal is to bridge the gap between what the municipality expects the public to know, also specifically utilities, and then what the public expects the municipality to do, right? So one example here that you see, I don't know if you can see it from here, the clean outs. Do you see those two arrows? Are you guys familiar with clean out, what that is? Okay, well, a lot of people aren't. These are little white pipes that stick out in your yard. Nowadays, you usually have two. So one is closer to the house. That is the one that when you have a sewer issue at home, that your plumber accesses and goes towards your house to clear any blockages. The one towards the street is the one that the city will access, and they'll flush towards the sewer main, which is that big pipe that it all ends up in. Another misconception is, washing, washing grease down with hot water and dish soap, that, it'll be fine. They're wrong. It will harden further down the line, so either in your line or down the municipal sewer line. So in either case, you're gonna end up paying for it, either, with your plumber, or that's where your tax money is going towards, is fixing these clogs. Clean outs. Okay, so again, this is a clean out. Back when I worked for a city, I would often see these flowing over. And this is actually a good place to check whether, first place to check, if you have any backups, to check your clean out. So this is an example of grease in the clean out. Usually what you want to see when you take that cap off is just the bottom of the pipe going towards the street, not where it's almost to, the top in grease. And this house had a big issue with grease and, again, flushable wipes. Here are a couple more examples. One thing I would also find is, people, instead of calling a plumber or the municipality to come out and look at the issue, let me try and solve this problem on my own by taking the clean out cap off and then relieve the pressure of the system. So this is, against city ordinance. Most ordinances, you do not want to have raw sewage out in the open. The picture on the left, you can see a lot of flushable wipes and also a lot of paper towel. And I also saw whole pieces of carrots. I mean, people put anything down. And then in the picture on the right, on the other side of that pavement, there's actually a storm drain. So that's how I found that one, was a complaint about a smell in the stormwater system, and following it upstream and finding this. Okay, so if we go to a larger scale, the way the sewer works, so you have the main that each of the residences pipes go to, and then you have gravity helping it all flow. Eventually you want it to end up at the wastewater treatment plant. However, you can't have, pipes going through the city all the way down to the treatment plant, right? That would be incredibly deep. So what we have are pump stations or lift stations. And basically these are big wells in the earth, and you have a few different pipes from different neighborhoods flowing into this. When it reaches a certain level, a sensor goes off, and then a pump pumps it to the next highest manhole or line. So the thing about them being at the lowest, line level is they are often near waterways. So if you have a pump that is failing, and by the way, a lot of these pumps have built-in shredders to help combat what people flush. Unfortunately nowadays in many municipalities, that is not enough because people will flush anything and everything. And so I did see a lot of these, lift stations overflowing, and also a lot of fish kills in the nearby swamp. So pretty sad. Continue. So this is an example, at least at the city, of what the signage is for a lift station. They often have alarms. So if you do see a light going off at one of them, please call the number and do report it so someone can come out and actually investigate and maintain it before you have a sewer overflow. And then, okay, so when you lift up I don't know if you guys have ever wondered, what it looks like when you lift up a manhole lid, but this is it. What you want to see is that top right picture is just to the bottom of the pipe, so you can kind of see where, the sewer from different neighborhoods are all joining and to go into one direction. Now, what you don't wanna see are the other two pictures where it's filled with grease to the top. This is gonna cause a lot of, course, backup. So what you see here might not be backing up here, but you might have something upstream that is overflowing. So that was a fun part of my position. But yeah. So that was a great place to end, because now we just want to educate people on how to prevent these things from happening, right? One big thing is to only flush toilet paper and then what you eat, right? So no flushable wipes because they don't break down or tear apart the same way that toilet paper does. Properly dispose of pet waste. So the dog poop, it does contain a lot of bacteria. So picking that up and throwing it in trash is a great way to help with the bacteria pollution. Please don't put grease down the drain. There are different ways of disposing of it. And then, let's see. Yeah, maintaining the septic tank. And then the next one.
May I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Is there a way, not in your position or higher up from your position, to prevent people from selling things that says flushable wipes as a false advertisement to the public? And they go put it in the systems, and it grinds up and it melts in there, and like you said, a lot of times it's supposed to chew it up, but it winds up melting in there, clogging that motor up.
Correct. The only way I've heard of it working is lawsuits. I think Mount Pleasant a few years ago did sue a company for that exact reason, for them saying that these things are flushable when in fact they're damaging the sewer system. So yeah, that's one way to go, but hopefully, like educating the public, letting them know, like, hey, your tax money could be going towards, a nice sidewalk or, I don't know, bike path or something, rather than fixing the clogs. And also just educating them on, like, yes, the infrastructure, municipal infrastructure does have an expiration date, so to speak, right? But it is up to the public or anyone who uses that system to make sure that it does last that long. So that's also a big part of it. And then don't be a litter bug, because we don't want trash going, into the stormwater system, causing flooding, but also, just polluting our waterways. And then just report anything you see that, or anything you smell as well, so that it can be investigated and hopefully that the matter can be solved. And then there's some good contact, some resources. But yeah. Do you guys have any questions? I did leave some packets on your desks of examples of things that we give to our partners. So one of the packets is for restaurant use. So the people in municipalities that are in charge of like bad soils and grease program, they'll take those packets to restaurants. And restaurants will display those for their employees. Let's see, those turtles that say protect our waters, those are sponges, just as a reminder for people while they're doing their dishes to, knock the grease down the drain. The orange caps, those are meant to go on soup cans. So one of the programs we have is giving these out at tabling events, but encouraging people to pour grease when they're finished cooking, pour it in a soup pan, and then cover it with the cap, and then putting it in the freezer or the fridge until, it's full, and then you can dispose of it. Let's see. Oh yeah, so then we have car air fresheners, because litter is also a pollutant of concern, right? So, and especially litter that comes out of truck beds or off of trailers. you know, you can think that you're disposing of something properly, but it's not gonna make a difference if it flies out of like a trash truck or a truck bed. It'll still end up on the side of the road, right? So yeah, just, I don't know,
I will add, I've had the pleasure of seeing Darlene's presentation months ago, and she actually did some signs for us as well about the things that you can and cannot flush, that you can put in the restrooms. You know, the fact that you shouldn't be flushing cotton ball or cotton swabs, you know, medication. People thinking that the flushable wipes are flushable and that it's the same, that if you don't put the grease in this kitchen sink and you're still flushing it in the toilet, it still causes issues. So a lot of it, people just really do not know, and I appreciate that. You having this program, and what is it that, to be part of the consortium, how is it that we?
City of Darlington used to be in the consortium, I think up until, 3 years ago or so. To be a member of the consortium, it's a 5-year contract, but you can, you know, opt out of it at any point. And it's $5,000 a year. And with that, you get to, you know, put in your request of what you want to see of the agent. So in this case, it would be me. You know, what kind of programs you'd like to see of the agent, what specifically, like which communities you want me to target, what information you want me to get out there. Yeah. And yes, and Ms. Hawkins does have a copy of an example of what a contract of that sort would look like. Yeah.
Oh, and the door hangers that tell you not to flush
Yep.
the cat litter and and the pet waste. Those are all really helpful.
Thank you. Any questions?
Very good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very good. All right, boards and commission appointments, hand raising for the Women's Support Committee.
Our next presentation will be given to you by Ms. Anya Cooper. She was our summer intern this year, and I tasked Anya with completing or researching and putting together a draft of a Citizen 101 course, and she'll take it from here. She'll give you what she learned and what she came up with.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, like Ms. Hawkins said, I am Anya Cooper. I'm currently a rising junior at the University of South Carolina, where I am studying environmental sciences, so I thoroughly enjoyed the presentation that you just heard. And I am very grateful for the opportunity to be a summer intern for the City of Darlington. So thank you all for making this experience happen for me. And I'm just glad I could gain some valuable insight into the different areas of city government. And my main task was to curate a course for citizens to better grasp what I call the behind the scenes of city government and just their local area. And I have created a course that would meet once a week for 7 weeks with 6 informational sessions held once a week. Each weekly session would focus on one area of our government, the areas being our city administrators, public safety, public works, city council, budget management, and then community development and resources. The course itself would have no true budget unless funding would be allocated towards meals. I've researched other areas, they provide meals, because this course would be held around 6 o'clock after people get off work. So there is no funding other than that, or wanting the participants to have, like sometimes t-shirts, pens, things of that nature. And the other requirement would be a facilitator, but most cities do have a volunteer facilitator, or they have the community engagement representative act as instructor for that course. There are many locations that this course could be advertised. That is one thing that we would try to really make sure is diverse. We want people from churches, local businesses, and other city-affiliated media to be involved, just so that one area is not being educated, but everybody in the city of Darlington they're being educated on this topic. A few of the sessions are planned with activities. This would ensure that citizens aren't just sitting down and it's not a classroom setting, but it's interactive, and they are understanding what energy and knowledge has to go into creating a budget, what goes into a city council meeting, and what goes into our public works and public safety. Because sometimes they aren't seeing the energy and the time that goes into this, but it is very needed and it is very underappreciated sometimes. So earlier, I did create a survey to better understand the needs of the community. So that was sent out to various community members to really understand their needs as potential participants. Many of the responses included understanding education and youth engagement, ways to better get them engaged with the community, as well as how to better understand city budgets from the citizens' perspective. Some wanted to know more about street infrastructure, many of that being potholes. But then others wanted to better communicate with their representatives and with their city council members. Some also wanted to know, how would I seek official positions, such as being the mayor one day, or being a city council member? And then others wanted to know about the city as a whole. These responses, along with many more, should be considered when creating a course, just so that the individuals serving their community adequately educate their community as well. So I really do hope that you all consider this program for the city of Darlington. I think it would be very beneficial just to get everybody of all ages and all backgrounds engaged with their community. And this would also help you all as the administrators of your community. If they're educated, things for you guys would run much smoothly, and things for the citizens would run much smoothly as well.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you. Questions? Thank you.
Yes, very good report. You have in here in paragraph 3, first come, first served basis. Have you got a target number of individuals that you would be looking at to participate?
Because this will be our first run, which most cities that have already done this program, they choose a date between Labor Day and Thanksgiving, just to ensure that there are no issues with holidays. But then also I would like to limit that number to less than 20 individuals, just so that we can really get this program off of the ground from a base level. And I've seen some go all the way up to 30 and 50 individuals. So that would really just be understood from the space. I've seen other places use spaces similar numbers to this one here, but I've also seen them use school auditoriums. So I really just think it would have to be based on how many individuals would like to sign up, as well as how many individuals can be in the facilities that host the event. Any other questions?
You were so thorough.
Yes, the packet provided would also be what would be sent out to interested individuals, because it does include an overview of the program itself, as well as an application for them, as well as a schedule that they would attend with the intended activities and the intended topics for each course.
So the way other communities and municipalities have run programs like this, it's not pick and choose, they're to commit to all 7 of them, is that right?
Yes, they would prefer for you to commit to all 7, but we do allow for one session to be missed. You know, things come up, people aren't always available that certain day of the week, but you would prefer for them to be available for all of them.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all.
They are all members of St. James United Methodist Church, 312 Pearl Street, Darlington, South Carolina. And her dad, of course, a former city council member.
Boards and commission appointments, Nancy Brazelton for Leaves and Park Committee.
I'll motion to approve Hampton Brazington for the Williamson Park Committee.
I'll second.
Mrs. Miller, Mrs. Baccus, Mrs. Reed? Seegers? Aye, motion is carried, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve Sandra Chase and Brian Gandy for the Historic Landmarks Commission? Ms. Poole, second.
Angela McCraven, second.
On which one, I told them to do them separate.
Okay, so, oh, is that what?
I do
Yeah.
separate.
I'd like the motion to approve Sandra Chase to the Historic Landmarks Commission.
Second.
Mr. Craven, second. Mr. Dillon? Mr. Craven,
Yeah,
second.
give them second.
Ms. Baccus? Ms. Reed? Seegers? Aye, motion carried. Do I have a motion to approve Brian Gandy as the Historic Landmark Commission?
I so moved.
Elaine seconded.
Who made the motion?
Looks like John Miller.
Mr. Miller made a motion. Mr. Miller?
You made the motion?
I think I did.
Okay.
Don't you I started through, but I said second, okay.
Speak up. All right, Ms. McRaven, Ms. Baccus, Mr. Carter, Seegers, aye, motion is carried, thank you. All right, unfinished business, second reading of ordinance 2025-03 Housing Incentive Program. I left everybody a copy of thing, covered everything that Kevin has went through with me and put this together to try to make sure that everything that y'all asked for was on here, I believe.
So- This is the sheet that we're gonna give to whomever that wants to apply for the incentive.
Yes, ma'am.
Where is it?
I don't understand why there's a name at the top of it, a phone number.
This is a draft, because I put it up there, my girl did it for me, and drafted it for me with Mr. Edford, so that would not stay up at the time. It would say just the city of Darlington. The meats of it, was everybody fine with me, though?
I have a question, Mayor. Does it say anything about the forfeiting? I think, Councilmember Milling wanted a statement about if they did not, is that somewhere on here? Did I miss it?
The email I read it was, I don't know if that's.
If they don't come in within 3 years, the application, then they forfeit the money.
And that was down, I saw that.
3 years from the date of application.
Okay, I see the clause, no fees will
It
be.
gives them time to get started on it, build it, sell it. Somebody comes in toward the end, they put the application out the last day, they still got 3 years, go to the last one. Money's held in escrow. If they don't finish it within the 3 years, sell it within 3 years, then they forfeit.
If it's not sold, it's probably within the 3 years. Sorry. Goodness, this side system has been completed.
The only thing I would say is the same I said last time, is if the house is done by September 30th, 2027, they can get their fee, to encourage people to build between 25 and 27. But if y'all wanna do you got 3 years to build, then I'm fine with that as well, that's more money we get in interest.
And if you give that 2-year window, and somebody starts in the first part of the 2-year window, it may take them that period of time to get it sold, and then if you get somebody that comes in within that 2-year window, then they still got that period of time afterwards.
I'm fine with
Somebody
it.
can come in 2 years, and so it's a 5-year, it could be a 5-year span, but they got to start building, they got to apply within that 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Do they have to move dirt before the end of the day, or So y'all were fine with them
They
coming
come
and
in and do
signing?
the application for it, and they don't start, they might not start doing dirt till they do an application.
Okay.
Once they do the application, then they got 3 years to move dirt, get it built, sold.
Okay.
Done. I would suggest that it's kept with whoever you decide for it to be kept with, and then with the codes department, I would assume, because they're gonna come in and fill the application out and get their permits, and then it's before they give water and all that stuff, so then at that point, the water department all needs to know. Go back and see for sure what was pulled for each place. One person be responsible for keeping.
And the sewer fee and the water fee, is that the,
Well,
Tap.
if a house has already got tap fee, there's a sewer, I'm assuming there's a sewer and water connect fee. Is that right?
start the application?
Tap fee, sewer fee, water fee, connection fee, and building permit fee.
All right.
Everybody's
I'm just
fine?
glad, yeah. I mean, I was simply because I'm just glad we have gotten to this point.
Y'all know
And-
the motion?
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the second reading on ordinance number 2025-03 Housing Incentive Program.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Milling. Ms. Graydon. Ms. Baccus. Mr. Seegers. Aye. But the understanding to remove my name from the top of it, that's, she just put my name on this letter. Just put the city of Darlington.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. I would ask that the city manager encourage Hunter to come up with a plan to promote it out so people know, that contractors know, and public knows, that we're offering that incentive for a 2-year period.
Please do a PR
So I'm
release.
just laying there, we're encouraging everybody, we're inviting them to come in. Whatever you can do with that part. All right, thank you for that. Let's see. Financial report, was that it?
So, just so we have documented and have on record, I was asking that we have financial documents and reporting. Our budgeting, it's so important for us to know where our finances are, the financial status. It is absolutely crucial to have that information in order for us to make informed decisions, as well as making certain that we remain on track, remain on target with our finances. I am asking and requesting a few things just so that we as a governing body can be informed, as well as help our citizens be informed as well, so that they can see where their tax dollars are being spent. This is in an effort as well to help reduce some of these FOIA requests, and just provide that citizen transparency. So the two things that we're requesting are that the check registries and any necessary documentation pertaining to that be posted to our website, so that citizens can at any time go to the website and take a look at those check registries. Simply asking that we have at least the 2025 done by October 7th, which is our October council meeting, that those check registries and that supporting documentation. That the ultimate goal is to have check registries and information from the past 10 years be on the website, so that everyone will have access to that. as well as financial reports, that the council, that the entire governing body would end up getting the same information. That starting next month, that we can at least get a financial report, knowing that the information that we'll be receiving won't be from August, but it'll be from July, because bank statements won't be reconciled by then. And we understand that it'll be pretty much 2 months behind. And then we can have that information. So for this year, we get one every other month, so that means September and November. And then starting January of 26, we'll receive one on a monthly basis, so that we can remain current and informed about where things are and how departments are spending money, that if there's overage or shortages, and we need to start asking people to scale back on spending, and if there is any waste that can be caught, hopefully a lot sooner. So those are the two things that I am requesting, that we do go ahead and get that information on the website and people will have access to it. I'm just hoping that the entire council was in agreement, so that we can, our city can move forward and we can get done all the things that need to be done. So I'll make a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, if there are questions, I'm sorry.
We gotta be able to talk first.
Ms. President, is this stuff that you can provide for us each month and put online?
I'll check, CPA is coming tomorrow, we're gonna be working on getting the year end closed, because that's why you don't have any current reports. Because after the year is closed, we have to make sure we got everything documented. So it's gonna be like a month and a half behind. So we're gonna try to go ahead and get that closed out this week. So once we get that closed out, then we'll be able to move forward, and we'll see what we can do as far as getting it online. I don't know if it's gonna be current every month, but whenever we can get it, put it on there, it will be on there.
So at this point in time, it's just you and Cheryl. Do y'all have time with all the other things that y'all are tasked with? Do you have time?
But it seems like we'll have to find time, we'll have to do it after hours. I mean, our
So,
heads
Ms.
right
Hawkins,
now,
is
we
this
are-
something that, the communication person can post online for them? Because I find it hard to see that Darlington has enough news for news that are daily, or even weekly, because after one or two events of the summertime in Darlington, it's really not a whole lot going on. So is this something that the communication person can help them with?
Yeah, just
Together.
But we'll see, what's gonna be involved in order to get a file and get it out there. We will see what that would take, and then we can get back with you all. But, whatever we're able to do, we're willing to do.
Can I offer a counter? Can we just do check registers going back to 10 years? Because I know that some of their files are not in one place. And would you not have to pull those to get the documentation? You said backup documentation, is that right?
Any supporting documentation, I'm not sure how you all do that, but at least so you'll know,
Are you
if whatever
talking
you
about-
do for 2025, if you put check registries and
Are you
that,
talking about invoices as well? When you say backup documentation?
the supporting
Are you talking
documentation
about,
for what?
like when we write the check
Yeah.
register, the check register, you're talking about you want all of the invoices and
No,
everything
ma'am.
to go along with
No,
that?
I think when you pay a check in a calendar month, that check and then the corresponding invoice should be shown on the website.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
only an
for-
invoice once a check has been written. But there's no reason if you get an invoice and you haven't written a check, I don't see that.
No, that's what I'm saying. She wants, like if we write a check,
you saying you want that invoice that goes along with that check, so you want the invoices uploaded as well?
The checks, the invoices.
That's gonna be a lot.
How many checks a month do you?
That's a lot of stuff.
That's gonna be a lot, because you gotta
Go back.
scan all those invoices in.
Well, that, you know, for October, we were just talking about this year. I don't know if you all, how much information is on your check register. Is it enough for you to be able to follow, for us to be able to follow, or for a citizen who's going out there, who's seeking information? Because when you all have to do a FOIA request, that becomes extremely time consuming, going through all these records. So, the information that they're seeking, not just we paid Joe Blow $30, do we know what the $30 to Joe Blow was for?
That's what I'm
Can we
saying,
tell
so
what-
you want the invoice to go along to show what we paid. that
What,
particular-
at least that, yeah, so unless on your check register, you have
Description or
that
something.
a description. If the description is already there, you won't need that invoice. If you've already put on that check that it was for, plumbing, if it was for electrical work, if that information is there, you won't have to do that.
Mr. Gardner?
Thank you. So, a couple months ago we met. Ms. Hawkins said that I had brought the subject up months ago. This is the third item we as a council have agreed upon that we are now discussing again. I don't mean to waste the city's time, and I hope that we don't. But all of the council has agreed upon this when we talked previously. Ms. Hawkins referenced it at the last meeting that I brought this up months ago. I think it's a wonderful idea. I obviously agree with it because I was asking for it to be done months ago. I totally agree with it. I get that. I maybe would suggest that we don't automatically force them to go online. Maybe try to get that information for us for a month or two so they can see how easy it is for them to gather their information to us. And then in 60, 90 days, then we go online. And every month after that, we have the information. To ask them to go back 10 years for financial documents and post them all online, that is a lot of busy work that I'm just not sure is necessary. If it's easy for them to do, I would love for them to put it on there. But one thing I don't want to do is when council as a whole agrees upon a subject, that we then come back and relitigate it with council again. So this is the third time, and once council agrees upon a subject, I'm sorry, I'm talking, ladies. Y'all mind if I finish?
Everybody can be quiet, let one person talk at a time, please.
Once we agree upon a subject, I would hope that that would be the end of it. And if you're questioning what 3 subjects, I'll be happy to name them for you. But this is something we've brought up, we've discussed as a council. It's a great idea. Like I said, brought it up months and months ago, and would love to move forward with it. But I just don't want us to be forcing the administration to spend half a week, once a month, working on this stuff if it's that hard for them. And if it is that hard, then we need to go digital even more quickly.
If you check what's there, I didn't ask for 10 years by October.
I understand what you
I'm
asked for.
asking for 2025 by October. At that time, they will know by October what information they have, how quickly they can get the information uploaded. If it's too late, too cumbersome, then they can advise us of that. I'm not asking that it be done in 6 months, but 2025 information be on the website by October, and then at that time we can meet again and we'll be able to discuss, is the information that's there easily accessible for citizens, easily accessible for us? Is it enough information? Is it too much information? At that time, we can revisit and decide how much we need to be providing, and then we can discuss at that time what the process will be for getting the past 10 years added to the website.
If we were to vote for what you've asked us to vote for, it literally says the ultimate goal is to have the check registries and supporting documents from the past 10 years available online. In October, we can revisit and set a goal for the remainder to be completed. But you're telling to the administration that they have to get the next 10 years up there and they need a game plan before October when we revisit it. So I just don't want to put too much added weight on the administration. I think it's a great goal. It's a lofty goal and I love it. but we just need to limit it in the beginning.
Okay, as another council
Ms. Reed,
person, and it does seem that we have all agreed about the transparency and making it available to the public. So, what seems to be is the amount of information and the time it will take to get that on the website. And since I thought about what Councilwoman Baccus is saying, since we do have a person that is responsible for that website and the type of information is on there, we have agreed to that he does be a part of that to make it a little bit easier. Whatever you have outlined or designated or identified as the kind of information, financial information that needs to go on there, that we put it in the point that Hunter or the person who is responsible for the website get it there so that the public can do whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. So if that's up to the city manager here to decide if that would be the most convenient and easier way.
He publicizes everything, so as soon as she gets the documentation, she would email it to him, and by a click of a finger, he publicizes it. That's no problem, that's not the work.
Well,
The work is on the ladies.
is what I just said, compiling and identifying what is going on there. And so
what
they
you
do
roll
that,
with
that's
financial.
their job. And then go ahead, not let that part be what they have to put on the website, if they can get it to them. That's what it
And the
is.
work,
Yes.
Mr. Milling,
Just had a
Let's just
question.
kind of move.
When we were dealing with this, I don't know whether you are thinking in terms of payroll checks. Okay, so you're excluding payroll checks and such things as that,
Yeah,
it would
that's
be
what-
vendor type checks.
That's what I'm saying, protecting that.
Identify.
so
That-
monthly,
Yeah, I'm saying, I know we can't put that in our payroll.
Yeah,
I understand that.
but just, I didn't want the public to be thinking, where's your paycheck?
so,
But if
so, as of right now, if I'm not mistaken, Gloria, what are we in, August,
Yes.
July? Let's say June and July has been reconciled, and your invoices is in the boxes, right? Which is a normal process every month. So it's not like they're doing anything different than what they already doing.
Exactly.
All they're saying now is, Hunter can go, get the box, scan it, put it on the website. It's the same process every month. It's not like we're adding anything
how many invoices do you have?
that's
in a
being
month?
done. It's already in the box.
Unfortunately, I think Hunter's got a lot of things to do, even though some council people think there's nothing going on in Darlington, we got a lot going on
Saying
in
that.
Darlington. And for one person to have to scan thousands of invoices that are coming through here is a lot of task on anybody. To click and put it on the website is one thing, but to be able to, I think the ladies need to, Mrs. Hawkins and Mrs. Prison need to look and see what process it would take to get those on there. When you're doing them, when you're writing it out, and scan it. If you got a check register, if you got a, excuse me, if everybody can make sure we take turns talking. If the ladies can look to see when you scan and you put the checks in a register, that should be easy, I would think, click to put into, online as a PDF file for people to see. Council, please be quiet. So I suggest that Mrs. Hawkins and Mrs. Pridgeon look and see what process it needs to be, and then bring it back to us on the next meeting.
Well, if it is
We
too
are-
laborsome, I mean, she's over employees, if need be, there's always an option for her to hire a temp to just to get this rolling and for them
Personnel now.
to smooth through, to move this along. But to say that we would delay that, I just,
Ms. Hawkins, yes.
Is it, a deal breaker if you don't have the backup documentation?
I think we just wanna know what the checks are for. I don't wanna see 07247 check number, and then the amount $3,000. I would like to know this is going to ADP or whatever.
I had just talked to Ms. Pridgeon about that. at least putting an invoice number and a description. And cause I have tried to look and it doesn't appear that may be there. Can we start from like you said, January, and go forward with the supporting documentation, and if there's something that catches your eye and you needed more information, we can provide it, because they're gonna have to go find it, pull it out, and see what that is. Or is it just really, you want that backup documentation so you can see what it was for?
I'm on council and I'm just one vote, so you're gonna have to listen to the rest of us to see how many head shakes, I guess, unless we're gonna vote on this.
I can't see two of your faces. But three.
I think we move forward.
Okay.
We go forward.
Go forward.
And that way, we're not putting an undue burden on the administration.
The
Just
check
from now
register, I
on,
think,
going
would be
forward.
the easiest. It can be printed to PDF and for however many years she has in there. But it may not have all of the information you're looking for.
And then going forward, the description.
And then
putting the description, you saying you're putting the description now on the invoice?
You start doing it.
Yeah, in the system, when Cheryl's keying it in, she can put a description. Might not be able to put everything on there, but, like Ms. Hawkins was saying one day, like, she was looking at an invoice and had like bleach and chlorine or whatever, we just say chemicals, like for the pool. We know
So then if that's the case, then you can just scan the invoice and that's it,
And be done.
they won't need anything else.
So
You
then
can
we
just
have,
post the invoice,
okay.
and that's it, and that
We
will
can also
cover,
put the
if
check.
we got a
Y'all
description
keep
on it.
check copies?
We don't have the stuff, you know, that we attach to it.
We can't have it more like an Excel form, where cells,
That is another
Like-
step.
That's another job.
What now?
You want it
That's why I
downloaded
keep-
into Excel?
I didn't know how you can export the information, if it's a simple click of export into a PDF or into an Excel form,
I know a PDF.
and then it keeps it simple. I'm not asking for an extra step, and just, I'd rather it where it's easier to
The only
digest.
problem is you won't have the chemicals, you won't see that.
There's no description, okay?
But going forward, I'd already asked her that they would do that.
So if we as a council, do we wanna try to get them to pull this off going forward, or do we wanna compel them by October to have a game plan for going back 10 years? That's the question, right?
That's
At this
I
point?
would just tell them to try to see what they can do, get it in there, and bring it back to us on the next meeting and see how it looks, and if that approves for everybody to do what you want.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
whatever we can get on there now, whatever we can get uploaded on there now, we can try to go ahead and do that. Put that on there, so we will have something on there. We'll look and see what we can do as far as, getting us up to date with that, but as far as the invoices, we'll have to go back, cause that's gonna take some
Make
time.
it as simple as possible so it doesn't bog anybody down.
Right. So we'll see what we can do for right now at this
Alright.
moment.
Okay.
Again. You might not be able to do it within a month, I don't know what it looks like, you got an auditor, you said coming by October.
And our audit does officially start the bringing out due in October.
So we'll see what it looks like.
Like I said, we'll see what we can do, what we can come up with, and, when I talk to Cheryl and Lacey tomorrow, what we'll do, and Ms. Hawkins, we get together and we can see what we got on the system, and we can send it out to you all, let you all look at it, take a look at it before we have one for upload, see what we can get uploaded up. Does that sound okay?
Thank you.
All right, new business. Bid approval for the pavement of Roanoke Street from Country Club, Lucas.
Council, so we're gonna discuss first Roanoke. I know from what I found out, Roanoke Street was supposed to have been, paved a few years ago. Council had already approved it in years past, but it never got done. So, with being so far back, I went ahead and got new bids for it to be redone. That's what you have in your packet. That I put up, the first one be industrial paving.
Before we start looking at the bids, I just want to bring to everybody's attention, we just purchased some property over here. We're trying to redo the sewer system in this area. we've been running a temporary pump for 5-6 years, I guess by now. So I don't know if it's appropriate to pave the road. I know we just sent in a grant with RIA. We got denied on the grant, that included this. I know that our portion that we were gonna match with that grant, I believe was the paving, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think it's in our best interest to pave this. I think we need to wait till next month. You can ask these companies if they'll enter the bid in another month. But I would rather get some understanding from our water and sewer department to figure out whether or not, we're gonna be able to apply in the future, and what the contacts at RIA said was wrong with the grant previously, and if we would be, able to get it past them at their next bidding, which is 3 or 6 months away.
Myself, Ms. Hawkins and, Mr. Morris, we thought about that and we already discussed it. To my understanding, he said that section of Roanoke is going to be a small, very small section.
I heard it's 25 feet.
Again, that's a small section compared to the whole street.
Yeah.
And it's down there towards that cul-de-sac, down right towards the end.
Okay, I just want to get clear from last year. This says Roanoke Street, and is that different from Roanoke Drive?
No, it's the same one.
It's the same one?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so these were on the list that said that had been paid, and they had Roanoke on there, and so I wanted to know the 2 streets, is that the only street on this list that said, that is it, these are the streets that, and it,
I don't have this list. This is my first time seeing it.
and so, and that's the only street on there has not, but on this list it says it had been paid.
No, so Roanoke, has not been paid.
So we need to know about any of the others.
No.
No,
Well,
all those streets
yeah,
have been paid.
Yeah, because I know.
We paid
the
those
ones.
streets in 2021.
Okay, so that was years ago, but Roanoke was not paid at that time frame.
You can go look
So-
at the road.
So we need
Go
to.
ahead, Lincoln, finish your thing.
Okay, so what I want to know
Yes,
is
ma'am.
like, because what about this $30,000 that said it had been? Things like that. If this on this list and you don't know anything about it,
Correct.
and if we were under the impression that all this was done and all these people were paid. Some of these I do know because they were in my ward,
Mhm.
so they were done.
Yep. And again, like I said, Roanoke, it has not been paid. It was approved to be paid.
So we need to
but-
find out then about this.
Okay,
Okay, I want to know.
yes, ma'am.
I want to know if $30,000 was paid out to somebody and it wasn't paid. I want to know if
When was it
there's
approved
any
to
other
pay?
streets on here
Yeah,
that have not been.
that list was produced in 2021. So there had to been that time.
No, you just said you never seen this list.
Yeah, but
So-
if y'all had that list since 2021, and y'all are saying that it was paid and approved,
No, that's not what, I didn't say that.
Roanoke has not been paid.
I didn't say that.
That list was created.
What I'm asking you is,
The list was created and done when Alex was here.
you
And
saying
then,
the Roanoke has not been paid, that's understandable.
Okay.
You're saying it was approved to be paid.
Correct.
But you have something on.
When was it approved?
It had to have been the same time frame as that list was produced.
No, you
Yeah.
you can't say that. You
Yeah,
can't say that.
It was prior to me coming on board to the city.
Right, but you saying it was approved. So how can you say it was approved if you can't, if you don't know when it was approved?
Because
That's what I'm trying to understand.
I've talked with the individual that was supposed to have done the paving, and he would say they never paid it.
And that individual is,
No.
that is this
Okay.
person here?
And that
We
individual
gonna move on.
is right here.
All right, well then that's what I'm
Yeah, but
saying.
that individual was not at council meeting and don't know what we voted on. So how that individual tell you it was approved? Second, where's the money coming from to pay this?
So that will be coming out of 630, 388. There's $50,000 in, that line item.
So we gonna,
Paving, curb and gutter,
Oh,
sidewalk.
Lord have
so we
mercy.
gonna deplete the whole $50,000 on one street.
Well, that's all that I was allocated for paving, and the cost of everything is going up.
So you're gonna deplete the whole $50,000 on one street.
On a street that was supposed to have been paved years ago.
You keep saying that, but you don't know that, you're just saying that. You don't know whether we approved it or not. The
I
question was,
remember
when did we
approving
approve?
all of those streets.
Yes.
The question
And I
is
remember-
why didn't this one get done way back when?
Why didn't
Since
Jefferson-
it didn't get done way back then, why are those citizens not entitled to have it done now?
We're not saying they're not. Why all these other citizens not entitled to have theirs done?
Well, are there any others on there that you know that have not been paid?
Yeah.
Well, then we need to find a list of those that have not been paid and be sure that somebody hadn't been paid money and not performed the work. And then we'll know where to go.
Amen. That was-
Otherwise,
There's a whole
we don't
list
need
of
to.
streets that, Cone Street, those streets are dirt streets. Never been paved. These are dirt streets.
Well, we'll have to do the research of the minutes and see what took place and do
So
a research
why
of the
would you
finances and
deplete
find
the
out
whole
that people hadn't
$50,000
been.
on one street?
The same reason we depleted the whole account that went to paving roads for a bond when we finally had enough to be able to pave the multitude of roads that you're referencing in the list.
And the roads.
Every year, we'll have a set amount that we can set aside, and we goes to the priority street, whichever one the administration chooses.
Okay.
And the streets that we paved last time was the majority of streets on your side of town,
So my side
which
of
was
town,
$384,000.
what you're referencing
So we're not
is-
paving streets on the other side of town.
No, man.
We
it
need to pave
sounds-
streets on both sides of town.
So that sounds really
Right.
good. Why don't next meeting you bring that in paper form and show us what you're talking about and educate the public on the
Okay.
why?
Why? Because
Yeah.
all of them need paving.
So
There's
why
a lot-
do we pave them
all of
all
these
on
streets
my
need
side of
paving.
town?
Okay, wait.
Why?
All these streets need
Why?
paving.
Okay.
Tell them why instead of making it look
Why?
like we're paving one side of town
Okay,
versus
And that's
the other.
exactly what we're doing.
That is not exactly.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Mayor, Mayor,
Exactly.
Cancel.
may I say one more
I can
thing?
read the street names that we paved.
Cancel, Mrs. Baccus, one person at a time.
Oh, I was talking, you keep interrupting me.
One person
I was
at a
speaking.
time.
Well,
Mrs.
you
I
Baccus.
was speaking. He kept interrupting me.
One person at a time.
I was speaking. He interrupted me.
Go ahead.
Gardner.
These are the streets that we paved. Richmond Street, Country Club Drive, Green Drive, T-Circle, Darlington Street, Fountain Street. Why we paved Fountain Guard on those? Hainsworth Alley, Hewitt Street, Stone Road, Terrell Street, Ward Street, Dutton Lane, Court Street, Joy and McInnes. We paved Henry Street,
Which is Ward 2.
which is what, and we paved Bonaparte Drive.
And
We took
Elm,
Jeffrey Street off the
Elm,
list. We took Winston Street off the list.
Which is Ward 2.
So,
Now we've got all these other streets, Pone Street, Cone Street. These streets are complete dirt. Have never been taken care of. Brunson, what is that street where the Brunson Street is complete dirt. But we gonna take the whole for 50,000 just to pave one street?
Mr. Jordan.
I'd like to point out that one side of town versus the other, the streets that you mentioned that are on my side of town, I don't even live in the neighborhood. I'm assuming you mean Country Club Road, Greenville, and Green Drive and T-Circle. What she fails to mention is that there was a representative that was in the House of Representatives that made the city roads in Darlington DOT and county and state responsibilities. And for some reason, there's an ethical rule that says you cannot put a street that you live on into that same cooperative where the county and the state is responsible for it. So it just so happens that the person who lived, that surrounded those three streets that are on my side of town, neighborhood I don't live in, happened to have a representative who put the rest of the streets in Darlington on the state's dollar so that we could afford to pay for the stuff we need to, because we could not afford to keep all the roads up. And she fails to mention that part. She fails to mention that in her neighborhood, for example, like let's draw a line around Kane Elementary, go out a few streets, any side you want, are all DOT streets. They are not owned by the city of Darlington. That information is useful, because otherwise it looks like and it appears that we're paving streets on one side of the community and not the other for political reasons. And that's just plain wrong. It's just wrong. We as a community have to start coming together and figuring out which street is the worst street and paving that one. Not what side of town the street is on, if it's in my ward or the other ward. That's the issue here tonight. Now, none of these subjects that are agenda items for the city of Darlington, so I don't know why we continue to go down these wondrous holes. Can we please get back to the question at hand, was the agenda item at hand? What do we want to do with Roanoke Street? I would like to finish talking, please. It is my suggestion that we hold off on paving this road and accepting this bid tonight until they come back next month and tell us about the future plans with the RIA grant. If the representative in Columbia would allow us to reapply, and if she thinks we have a reasonable chance of getting it passed. Because that information is relevant before we spend $50,000 on a road and then cut up 1/3 of it.
It's okay. It's about the agenda item. I was quite concerned that I saw that I thought was a discrepancy here, and I want that cleared up. I want to be answered, because this same street that we're bidding out was on the list of already being paved and paid. Money's being paid. So it was not paved. I wonder, there might be others like that. Were people paid for that? Please, and that is what's critical to me.
Can I get a copy of that list?
Yes, I will send you a copy. I'll take a picture of it. Wonderful question. Wonderful question. She didn't. Wonderful question. But this is a question just like the financial information, that if we took 1 minute to give our city administrator a call and ask that question, we could have the answer before we got to the meeting tonight. That's what being a good council person is about. Take that moment, make one phone call to people who will answer the phone for us and get the answer. The same is with the financial documents that we spent 10 minutes talking about ago. We as a council have agreed about it, talked about it at multiple meetings. Our city manager brought it up at the last meeting, and here we want another agenda item so that we can speak about it in public. Are we speaking about it in public to educate the public? Or are we speaking about it in public because we're trying to do campaign speeches? That's the question.
Okay, Mr. Lucas, if you will, counsel.
Now, it's amazing
Counsel,
how.
Mr. Lucas, if you will, find out, I don't think it will take much effort to Mrs. Hawkins, if you will find out for us to verify, as Mrs. Reed said, to make sure that we didn't pay for that road to be paid. It was on our list just to make sure we have verification of which roads were paid for when we made that payment. And then we'll discuss, Mr. Morris can find out for sure where we're at, how long it's going to be before, it's going to be another couple of years before we can get it approved to get the stormwater, the sewer line run down there from the lift station for the gravity fed that we were trying to do. So it'll take a while to get that done. If it's better, we can get it paid, just get paid.
Get the potholes fixed.
We'll go from there.
There's huge potholes.
Mrs. Hawkins can find out for us for sure,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
President, if, which roads were paid for back in 21. Mr. Millie?
Just have one question. One of the proposed paving proposals has like 6 items that they're gonna take care of, and the other one has like 3 items. I just wanna be sure that we are getting the same service for each one. One says mill out the entire existing asphalt 1 inch. Another one just says clean and patch street.
Yes, sir.
One talks about a bonding, application of a bonding. Another one just says resurface with 2 inches.
Yes.
I just want to be sure we're getting apples to apples.
One company, they were more, I'll give it to them, they were more in-depth and detailed with every step of the process. Whereas the other one, they weren't as in-depth. But it's,
Why don't, before you bring it back to us, get them to specify a little bit better what they're going to do.
will it?
And make sure it's clearly notated in there, the drainage issue at the cul-de-sac, because I didn't see that in the bids either.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm assuming that if we're gonna repave the road, that we're gonna
Correct.
make it where it drains appropriately.
Correct. Okay.
And the streets that I mentioned has nothing to do with DOT. These streets are all owned by the city of Darlington.
So that ranting and raving and that foolishness about DOT has nothing to do with this list.
Mr. Reed, thank you.
All these are city-owned streets.
All right, clear,
That's in
new
bad shape.
business. Let's move forward. New business, clearing of the right of way in the city limits.
So this one, there's only one bid. The other bids, there was text messages, but they were $200-300 more than the bid that I proposed to you, which is Field Creek. Now what they would be doing, they would be going throughout the entire city. And any trees that are hanging over the roadway, lower than 15 feet, clearing that so we don't have any vehicles. Fire trucks goes through, our streets, they won't hit a tree, damage it. Like through D Avenue, there's a few low-land limbs closer to Dixie Coast that tractor trailers will hit. So it's going to be mitigating any kind of insurance claims we might end up seeing.
So you saying this tree on Spring Street, what's,
So yes ma'am, that'll be the next. Yeah, that's next.
So what were you talking about then?
So, one,
$2,000 or $4,000?
the 2,000.
Yeah.
So you're saying they'll go all across the city, or is this a base fee and they'll charge extra depending upon
No.
how many limbs they have to cut?
So the $2,000, that's $2,000 per day. That's what it costs to operate. So it's $2,000 a day for them to come through and clear all of our overhead and all of our side streets or right of ways.
Have we,
but I don't understand, DOT clean cut the trees on the right of way.
Shouldn't take no more than 3 days to cross.
So I don't understand.
And they'll be falling right there in line with the cherry picker. So as soon as they cut, just get left right by the cherry picker on route.
okay,
But why are we hiring somebody to cut trees in the right of way that DOT will come and cut in the right of way for free?
So some of these are not in DOT right of ways. And I'm talking about our overhead. Anything, a tree hanging, say 12 feet from the road. They're gonna come in, they're gonna clear it out until it's 15 feet. That way we're not causing damage to vehicles. And the way I came up with, 15 foot is I went over to the fire department, I measured from the highest point of the ladder truck to the ground, and it's right at 14 feet. So you give them 15 foot, that way if there's excess rain or during summertime, springtime, when the leaves are heavy, they'll droop a little bit. So it's gonna be to mitigate damages.
On a DOT road, are we responsible for tree cutting or not?
No, sir. Unless it's, within your city's easements and right of way.
so,
get us,
Mr. McRae,
Do you have a list of streets that you've
We're-
already written by and because I mean, you say it's $2,000 per day, so I would hope that we have a list of streets so that it's not out riding aimlessly.
Yes, ma'am, we do have a list, I just will not bring it with me tonight.
Okay.
Ms. Reed,
I like,
okay, what they're only going to do city streets,
Yes, ma'am.
City.
city-owned
City
streets.
on street.
Because see, that's where I was having a problem when I asked you to clear up Jefferson Street back there because the trees are hanging all over it.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is, so would they be able to
Yes, ma'am.
come over Jefferson
They
Street?
would come through, and anything that's into the right of way, and overhead, they'll come through and clear it, right in line. Again, we have a cherry picker doing the route right there with them. So as soon as they cut it, we load it. That was one reason why we were able to keep it at 2,000, because if they were to cut it and then they load it and ship it, it would have been about 2,500.
So we own 40 some odd, only own about 40 some odd streets.
Yes.
So, and you're saying it'll be 3 days, they need 3 days?
At most,
but they're just doing city streets or they're doing DOT streets?
just city streets. Anything DOT wise, that will be DOT responsibility.
Which street was it that Ms. Reed was concerned with?
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
So just overhead stuff, or is it stuff that's sticking out from, like, I know, by my lanes?
Yes, sir, everything is sticking out.
There's stuff sitting from the side that's coming out there. Mr. Griffin?
So for instance, and then I think they recently trimmed it back some, on South Main Street near, between E and F Avenue, there's a brush that's overgrown. They wouldn't be doing that because that's near sidewalk.
Yes.
But if you go down F and the tree that's, the big tree that's there, and it sort of overhangs the corner of First, First and Main, they would cut that back. If it's, but only if it's a city-owned street.
Yes, ma'am.
And if it's not a city-owned street, you're saying they're not gonna be trimming these things back?
That sounds good too.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need a list of what streets
Throw
it's
out.
like, to see which one.
Yeah, I would love it. Can you come back and tell us like what streets you're talking about, or the problem areas you see?
We'll revisit this next month as well.
Yeah, I'd love, cause I don't wanna just give them a carte block $2,000 a day check without some idea and some timeline, like what do they think they can accomplish if we give them a sample of streets?
The third item would be, the removal of trees on Spring Street. So the addresses are 114 and 116. And it's same price for both trees. This company, they were the cheapest. And granted, it was only a few $100s cheaper, but they were still the cheapest. Now, I have spoken with an arborist from South Carolina Forestry Commission, and they verified that those trees are at risk because they're hollow in the middle, so they're diseased, and they're at risk of falling over. It is a Darlington oak. However, anytime there's a storm or strong winds, that tree is dropping limbs in the middle of the roadway, so we're having to constantly come out and clean up that. One of the homeowners already had a company come out to trim limbs that fell inches from their house.
Where's this at on Spring Street?
It's the Castle Street Inn. The Castle Street Inn.
Before you get to Oak. Is that right?
Ma'am.
Before you get to
Before you
Oak.
get to North Street.
North.
Yep.
I meant north.
Or just that curve, that area?
Just before it, as soon as you turn off of Castle on the Spring, it's your second and third house on the right. It's the real big Darlington oaks that are there.
How many trees are being taken down?
2.
So this is really a $8,200 bill?
Yes, sir.
And this is
Do
per
we have
tree.
an arborist going out there to say the tree's dead? Do we have somebody documentation for that?
So I can get the arborist to write that up.
Okay.
But whenever we rode around,
He visited it?
Sir?
You had an arborist visit it already?
Yes. And Miss Ann Hyler. I
So,
believe how you pronounce her name, last name?
so now, what process did we go through to get this tree done? I mean, you don't want me to start naming the trees in Ward 2 that's hazardous and it got limbs all in the street, just what it is.
It's a work in progress. Yeah,
So,
I'm
what is that process so to get Tallulah Street on?
So I mean, again, I've got it's not like we're just naming trees on one side and then name trees on this side. It's not that. It's I've had more complaints about those 2 trees, falling in the roadway than any other tree in the city.
Yeah.
And that would it be in a high traffic area with the school traffic, that's all we need for that tree to fall down with a bus full of kids.
All right. See, okay. I'm saying this, I just want to be, as they said, open and knowing what it is, because the folk in my area do not do that kind of complaining a lot of times.
Yes, ma'am.
Because they think it's not gonna be done, it's kind of wasted. So when we do see it being done, that's why I'm asking, is right here. How, what is the process? If it got to be numerous complaints, you got something set up where we need to apply for that, then we need to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so,
How much funding is you have in your line item?
So for that will be actually coming out of 590, there was a grant that was done. So 590,273, that was Miss Mary Morgan's. Yeah, that was her department.
How much money's in that line item?
15,000, I believe, according to last year's budget. And I don't remember too many trees being cut last year,
Last year's budget.
but that's the only reference point I
It'd
have.
be $8,200 because you have 2 trees.
Yes, sir.
What was your process for soliciting bids?
So it was, I'd sit there and I'd look and see, what all companies, do that service. And I call them, have them come out to the location and submit, a bid that way. I had access to, Skiba.
So you only solicited one company to come
No,
out and
ma'am.
give you a bid?
I've solicited multiple companies for bids, but for these, I just produced y'all the cheapest bids.
But our ordinance require 3 bids. That's what the ordinance require. So submitting one bid does not satisfy the ordinance.
And how much is in the account for this year, Ms. Hawkins?
What's the name of the account?
590,273.
What's the name?
Planning,
The line item there.
the line item was tree
It's
trimming.
15,000.
15?
It was.
We're supposed to have 3 bids. You got 3 bids, correct? But you just didn't bring
Yes,
those
sir.
2
I've
bids.
got 3 bids, I just didn't bring all 3 of them in.
This screenshot and print out stuff.
Would it?
In order for this council to have a legal vote, there should be 3 bids presented to the council.
Well, next
To
month,
make,
he'll
to
have,
vote on it.
next month, would you mind bringing us 3 bids?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
I'll bring in all 3 bids for all 3 projects we need.
You can bring it on our workshop session. Okay.
All right, that's it.
Put it on the budget, on the agenda for then. Thank you. Good budget. All right, discussion of, fee increase for, residents outside of the city limits, so that the public knows that we're not looking at residents inside the city, but outside the city limits, what we talked about the other day. I had asked that we discuss that. People that are not city residents that are still obtaining water and sewer services from the city.
So Ms. Hawkins, what is the, amount that we're currently charging out of city residents? So county residents who get the fee? Yes, ma'am. Is that the base rate?
The water is on the back side. Water is a base rate of 4302. And a per,
Right now, we're charging on 4302.
4302 is the base rate.
And that $5 is every 5,000 gallons?
I wanted to say it was per 1,000, but, that wouldn't be right.
The 571 is for what, this is right now, that's for what's, if they use more than base rate.
Right, for the water they use over and above.
What's the unit for that?
The unit,
Is that $5, 1,000, 10,000, 5,000?
let me see what that is.
Company A, Company 1, or J, you get Company J right this moment, using 2786 gallons, you're saying they're being charged $15.91 above the 4302.
It's per 1,000.
Correct.
Per 1,000.
They're being charged $15.91 for the 2786.
Plus
plus the 4302.
Right.
So what you, the 10, 20, and 30% is, based on what was over, the first 1,000 gallons or 2,000 gallons in this case, plus the 43. So the base is not included as she filled this out. I had someone do this for me, so.
So this will be not increasing the base, just increasing the usage after the base.
The per rate, yes, sir. The per, 1,000 gallon rate, yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Do we have an idea how many residents outside of the city limits that we have that we service?
You see all of them here. That's all of them.
This is companies or residents too?
The, commercial accounts only, not residents.
So there's only 11 accounts of commercial. Any idea how many residential accounts there are?
I did not ask for that. I asked for the outside commercial
What they
rate.
said, if we increase that, if you increase company, you can't get an increased company J, not increase company T. But if we increase the companies at 30%, are we still required also to increase the outside residents? Also,
No, I think you can do companies and residents separate, you just have to do a carte block across everyone. So all companies, all residents, how I understood it.
I believe.
Judge, is that how you understood it?
Yeah.
Because that's a different rate class, is the
Mhm.
commercial.
I'm not understanding.
Okay, so for the outside sewer rate, she picked the first 10, she picked 9 to 10 accounts for you as you requested. The outside water rate there, you do have more commercial customers on water, if I'm not mistaken. But she only selected 9 up to 10 that you requested.
but there are more water than
There are more water.
what you got here.
And I may have that backwards, I apologize, but, in one case, we just provide the sewer and the county provides the water.
That's that bill number here.
Oh, that's not.
I think the commercial is $20.
Versus.
As we're looking at rate increases of 10%, 20%, 30%, but we also look at what kind of revenue this generates.
She figured out what it would change to. At 10%, the 10%, would go to $559.88
Raise this rate.
a month
Rates up.
for 58, this is on the sewer, for 58,260 gallons. Currently, they pay $509.19 for that amount. If you increase that rate by 10%, it can go to 10, 20, and 30, it could go up to $661.83 for 58,260 gallons on the sewer, commercial sewer rate.
On the sewer, you have 9 here. You think there's more than 9, you said, companies, or just the 9?
I'm sending her a text right now. On one of these, she told me it was all of them. And I think that's the water, the one on the back. I think this 11 is all the water, commercial water accounts. It was not all the commercial sewer accounts because some of them have sewer, but they have pump water or they have water from the county.
Yeah, like you got somebody on the sewer side that's doing 500,000 gallons a month.
But it's nothing that we give them in water is what we use the reading that they give to the other provider.
Okay.
I was shocked to see that number, I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they only pay $4,000?
They only pay for it. And one of these companies on here, entities, they pay less than one of the schools. I won't say which, for the same thing. I think the school had 310,000 gallons, but for some reason they don't pay
Or
as much as
sewer,
they
you
do.
got E,
Well, let's research
H.
that.
Before 30%.
Somebody needs to come up with an explanation.
Why it's different, why it would be
and
more.
G.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's just
E, G,
a lower
H,
rate,
so-
that $8.74.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, you can increase, that's what it is, you increase it to, I mean, it's commercial, they're making money, you can increase it to that 30%.
Well, the whole idea, I think, is to make it painful enough they come into the city and start getting that savings. That's the whole theory behind it. Stop leeching off the city and our residents, want all the benefits, but not paying any of the entry to keep the city running.
I understand.
The question is, how much burden do we wanna throw on them, how painful do we wanna be? Do we wanna be real painful one year, or just say, hey, listen, we're gonna notch this up, and we go up on our residents 2%, 4% a year, and
When
we
you
go
went
up
up
on you
30%
10%.
on the trash pickup on commercial.
Yeah.
And as a note, none of these are tiered, they just have that one rate. So it doesn't matter how many gallons they use, it's just saying, they send to us, I should say, on this commercial sewer side, they're gonna pay the same rate at 10 if they would do half a million. And it's always been like that from what I was told. It's never been tiered like you have on residential water sewer.
So say that again now.
The tiers,
So if, for example, if you went up to the 30%, you're saying the person, the company that used 495,000 gallons, it wouldn't change their rate?
no, they could do $1 million and they still pay the same rate per.
And why is that not, can't be changed?
It can be, I'm just pointing it out, as you have,
She's saying
the
these
residents have, 0 to 5. They pay $3.42 for water inside, I should say, for residential. Let me go to sewer. For sewer, it's broken out as 0 to 5,000 gallons, 5,001 to 10,000 gallons, and then anything over 10,001 gallons is at $5.88. But that could be a way to differentiate the commercial sewer side, is to tier it. Because the person that did the, I shouldn't say person, the entity E pays the same if they send 40,000 or if they send 495,000. They still pay the same rate per unit treated.
Their usage, just these 9 companies she has listed, is the same of 700 of our residents. So those 700 residents, if you say everybody averages 2,500 gallon a month, which is what they say at $100, just roughly, rough numbers, that's 70 grand. And then if I add this up, we got maybe 10,000.
This will say you got one company's putting a heavy load on your sewer system.
3 of them, 4 of them.
It's really a lot per
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
And over a year's time, it's a lot.
It's a ton.
Is that only the one, there's only one on here that's not tiered, or is there multiple ones that's not tiered?
No, I'm saying for the outside, commercial sewer, it's not tiered like your water rates inside and your sewer rates inside. You don't have a tier. They just pay one set price over that 46.14, no matter how many gallons they use. But you do have a small tier for your water and sewer customers inside. What I'm saying is that might be where you wanna go, is to tier it and let them pay more when they use
Our
more.
residents right now inside the city, if they use more,
They pay
tiered
more.
goes up.
They pay more.
We need to do
That's
the same with this. We need to study that. That needs to be the first thing.
pardon, I'm sorry.
We need to look into tiering this, that needs to be the first thing.
I felt like when I saw that, that was the way to go,
That doesn't,
but it's up to you guys how y'all wanna do that.
I mean, I think look at both of these, but the first thing we need to do is see what we would do from a revenue perspective into these companies, and see what tier would look like for us and for them. Cause I don't wanna overburden them so much that now their business is becoming, you know, a financial issue for them, but the same, if you're putting $500,000 gallons a month into our system and only paying, you know,
And
$4,000,
there could be some
$2,000.
there could be some manufacturing loss where the water that they use goes out, and that they don't actually put that much into the
Doesn't get
system, that you do have that consideration, because you don't know what processes that are being used. And they could say, you know, but we have no other way of knowing that because it's not metered on that side.
Mhm.
So that is another consideration that, the staff and I talked about as well.
If for next work session, if you can bring some more details to us.
Okay, you want a little bit more information about the companies?
Give us a list of how many total sewer, how many total
You want totals, okay.
commercials.
We just wanna keep it commercial right now, just solve that first,
Start with the first one, see.
and then the tiered.
Yeah, I don't
On
want
just
one-
sewer or both?
No, it needs to be tiered just like it is for the city residents.
Okay,
If we do it for the residents, we need to do it for them.
but you want the water too?
Yeah.
The water too?
Yeah, when we know what total, how many total water resident customers we have, how many total sewer customers there are outside the city.
You don't wanna run any commercial customers off.
No.
To me.
That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, we're trying to see what's the good balance.
It needs to be appropriate.
Council didn't have a problem with raising trash companies 30%. Trash report stuff. Everybody's got to compensate a little bit, but you've got some companies that could come into the city that lower that rate, but they choose not to come into the city. They're still getting their service.
And did you want to consider tiering the commercial, inside? Because they don't have a commercial, a tier either, inside,
Let's just get educated on
Just do the
tiering
outside, right,
and what we're,
what it will do.
just the outside right
well, I just wanna get educated on it, what it's gonna cost, what it's gonna look like for the residents,
now. Okay,
you know, or the businesses.
the businesses.
And then if it's something that we see we're lacking in the city, then we can just incorporate it into the city as well, just less graduated.
Okay,
We're just start with the outside city limits first.
all right.
Okay, thank you. And we can put that on the agenda for next 2 weeks. Put the tree removal and all that stuff on there for the next 2 weeks, we have all that updated by then. Okay, Mrs. Halls?
I don't have very much, this evening, some of it will be in the executive session. I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Cooper for spending time with us this summer. You did an excellent job, I thought and she did it by herself. I thought I was gonna have a team of 3, but somebody said they were going to school up in, Chesterfield, and, then we had to put the other one to work in an inspection, so she had it by herself, and I appreciate that.
It's super.
I also wanted to mention, I wanted to ask citizens to mow their lawns and their lots, please, and take care of their, nuisance on their properties, okay? I sent you all some information on the nuisance and undeveloped. Did y'all get that? I will say that, in talking to Mr. Fowler, when I partnered with Safe Build, he did say he would help you all put more teeth. I think Ms. Reed will
Thank you.
appreciate that, to see what else we could do. One of your citizens did call me, he referred to me this evening. He did say that what you have is not enough, because apparently he has had an issue with, neighboring lots for a long time. So we'll see what, Safe Build and the team can come up with that we can put into place. We will be having letters go out again, but we don't really, the city is not really, wanting penalties. We just want you to make your lot meet the code, if you will. So there were letters that went out once, now we have the penalty letter coming out now with the deadline date, and we'll get a list together if we have to contract somebody to go get them cleaned. I just wasn't so sure that vermin and reptiles were included in the nuisance. I don't know, so that's probably another set that we probably have to put in place for that. But otherwise than that, we did go to town hall last night with U.S. Congressman Representative Fry. It was a lot of rain to get there, but we got there, got back safely. I did meet him and his staff, and they are very open to helping us when we need help. And there's something I'm gonna talk to you about in executive session, but that's really all I have. As far as your FY 25-26 budget, I was actually working on a budget book. I really am used to putting together a budget book, not just putting your line items out there. So do forgive me for not having it together yet. I will give y'all the draft. It's not as pretty or nice as I want it. It doesn't have all the things that I would like for you and the citizens to have in it, but it is a start. This is building it from without having, once we get it in place, we can use the same template over and again, and it'll go much smoother. So I will forward you all what I have. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. I will refine it a little bit more, and then we'll get it on the website for the citizens to review. I think that's all I have.
A reminder that Tuesday, August the 26th, 2025 is a workshop, we're in special session, so we can add, look at some stuff on the book, workshop special session. Monday, September the 1st, city offices will be closed for Labor Day, and then in September, we'll have a regular city council meeting. Motion to, go into executive session in accordance with South Carolina State Law 3-4-7.
Mayor, is this the same subject y'all discussed last month? Okay, unfortunately, I have to excuse myself. I am related to the party.
Make a motion that we go into executive session.
So.
Brad? Second.